Good morning, everyone. This is Deborah Anderson from Chocolate Shaka with another lesson, blessing, and message. Father, y'all pray that you come into the room and you speak to me and through me that someone may get a lesson, blessing, or message. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the power, and the kingdom, and the glory forever and ever. Hallelujah. Yah has not given us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. Any tongue that rises against us in judgment, Yah shall condemn, for we are the righteousness and the inheritance of the Most High Yah. Hallelujah. All right, y'all. We still on Deuteronomy chapter 28. We're going to start reading at verse 41 until time permits. Until the time run down, and then we'll stop wherever time permits us to stop. So let's start reading at 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but they shall not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. All the trees and fruit of the land shall the locusts consume. The strangers that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Alright. 41 is talking about having children and your children. Remember I was telling you in slavery they didn't keep the families together. They separated them. They went off as a family, but then they separated and they sold the children to one place, and then they sold the parents to another place. Like say your daughters and your children may have went to South America, and they shipped you off to North America. You separated, you'll never see each other again, you know that. You wouldn't even probably know what they look like if you saw them again. Who knows? And and all the trees of the land, the locust was going to consume the fruit of the trees because they were going into captivity. They was living in Canaan at the time. You guys know that. They were shut up behind the wall, or in the temple, the church, or whatever you want to call it. But it says the strangers within them would become above them, and they would become very high and they become very low. That means that it was like a confederate against the children of Israel, whereas the other nations and other people, they came together and they decided that they would erase us from off the earth. In other words, they was going to take us into captivity. They was going to let all the older people die off, the new people that they had just brought to the land after they have children and everything, let them die off, or they beat it out of them, the way of worship, who our Yah was and all of this. But they will become very high above us, just like they are now. They was nothing until they came and took everything from Israel. They took all the gold, all the brass, all the silver, all the goodly things, all our notes, our books. This Bible ain't even all of the Bible. This ain't half of it. It's so much to the scriptures that some of it they burned, they took. But let's keep moving. When they say that they will become very high, you become very low. We swap places. Now they rule over us, and we're under them, and we have to go to them for everything: food, water, clothing, lights, gas, houses, cars. Everything that you depend on to survive, you have to go to the people of this nation to get. You can't get it from anywhere else because you're living in their nation. It says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou should be the tail. Y'all know we read about this in the other part. So yeah, they will become over us. They will become our rulers, our masters. Financially, physically, mentally, spiritually, they had our whole lives in their hands, y'all. Well, they still do. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, until thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Most High Yah, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. This come from being hard-headed. That's why we get treated like this. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. These curses is going to follow us everywhere we go. It's going to be on us. It's going to be on our children. It's going to be on everyone unless we turn back to the Most High Yah. I'm telling you, you got to turn back. He said, because thou servest not the Most High Yah with the joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. So we were supposed to be worshiping, praising, loving the Most High, doing his will, doing his word, following the commandments, keeping the covenant that he made with our forefathers, but we didn't. So let's find out what happened. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Most High shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want, and in need of all things. He shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee. Isn't that what happened? They put those yokes on our necks with the little bells and stuff. Y'all know how their head is all chained up. But now you have to go to them for everything. See? Remember, I just got through saying this. For water, for hunger, for nakedness, for all things. Now y'all know when they put that on us, it was like the Willie Lynch syndrome. They put that apparatus on. They kept us in slavery so long, kept us all bound up and chained. We couldn't go from one. You couldn't go nowhere. You could barely go off that plantation. A lot of people never left that plantation. That's all they knew after they left from the land. After they left from Canaan, that's all they knew was that plantation. They didn't know where to go, how to get there. Remember, they wasn't from there until they became, had more freedom, and then they was able to move around and find their way around. But at this point, they was just not being taken. So the story is kind of like mixed up. It tells you about some things that happened while they was in slavery, and then it tells you some things about what would happen before they went into slavery. It says, the Most High shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the ends of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. They took people that they couldn't even communicate with. We didn't speak their language. So they just took us, there was a language barrier, and they was beating us because of this. They said, a nation of fierce countenance which shall not regard the persons of old, nor show favor to the young. They ain't had no respect for the elderly, and they what they did with our babies. Some of them, they took them and slung them up against walls and bashed their heads and killed them and stepped on their heads. Some of them they raped, little babies, y'all. Yeah, these was the people from the Isles. Yeah. Yeah, it was. That's why they going into slavery, because of this. The same things they did to us, some of this stuff gonna happen to them. It ain't gonna be us doing it, it's gonna be the Most High. They said, and they shall eat the fruit of the cattle and the fruit of the land until thou be destroyed. So they had you under siege. They had us under siege. They had us shut in the land of Canaan. We couldn't get out. We couldn't come out, because if we came out, we would be captured and taken into slavery. So we stayed inside. It was like, I think we hunkered down in a temple. But anyway, they ate up all of our food, all the fruits, all the vegetables, which also shall not leave thee neither corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind or flock, thy sheep, until they have destroyed thee. So they was eating up all the food while we was, remember, we was besieged, right? We was besieged, so we couldn't get to the food. Animals is outside. We were shut up inside. He shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy in thy high and fenced walls come down. So they was bringing down our defense walls, wherein thou trudest throughout all thy land, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Most High Yah has given to thee. So they surrounded the whole Canaan. They surrounded us, wouldn't let us out, so we couldn't get food. So y'all know we had to do some things so we can eat. So it says, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Most High Yah hath given thee in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. So while we was locked up and they was trying to get in and, to take us into slavery, we couldn't get out to the cattle and to the sheep and all that, so we had to eat our children. And it says, so that a man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother and towards his wife of his bosom and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Now when they say he shall leave, that means he would take the smallest child and kill it, or the smallest child would die from not having food and, get sick and die. The father would sneak off with the dead body and eat the child, and he wouldn't share with the mother or the other children because he was tender and delicate, meaning he was soft and he was compassionate. He didn't want to do that, but he was starving. So he ate his own children. So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, see, whom he shall eat, because he had nothing left in him, the siege, and in the straitness wherewith the enemy shall distress thee in all thy gates. And the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards her husband of her bosom, and towards her sons and her daughters, and towards her young that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness wherewith the enemies shall distress thee in thy gates. Remember when I told y'all our feet never touched the ground? Us women, the women of Israel, man, we was carried everywhere. We didn't walk. We didn't walk nowhere. We was carried everywhere. Yeah, we was carried. But she even snuck off and ate. And they was starving the rest of the children. I guess they was starving them because they know they was going to be the next one that they would have to eat. Lord have mercy. And then it says, if thou wilt not observe to do all of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear the glorious and fearful name of the Most High Yah, then the Most High Yah will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of the seed, even great plagues, and of long continence and sore sickness and long continuance. That means we was going to be held up in there a long time, eating on our children and dying off, getting sick, because we weren't supposed to be eating human flesh, so that was making us sick. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in this book of law, them will the Most High Yah bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. So y'all, they saying that it was diseases that we was gonna have. We was gonna get sick from stuff we never heard of, like kuru. Kuru is when you eat dead bodies, and what kuru does, it runs you nuts because you're eating the spirit of someone else. You're eating the drinking their blood. It messes with your mind, destroys your mind, make you mentally ill. And ye shall be left few in numbers. He said, we shall be left few in numbers, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Most High Yah. It shall come to pass that as the Most High rejoice over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Most High will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught, and ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. Now, y'all know these people was doing wickedly. You know, I guess they were supposed to just starve or fast or whatever, but they was eating them kids. Now, y'all notice when we did come over here to America, a lot of us died. We was trying to run away and was getting killed. But that was the plan. It's right here. We should be plucked off the land whether thou goest to possess it. Y'all know we came here. And the Most High shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth to even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Because we were sneaking and doing that anyway. Now he was making it where we will have to bow down to this wood and stone. He said, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall thy sole of thy feet have rest, but the Most High shall give thee there a trembling heart and a failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. Y'all, we was going into slavery. And they was gonna work us like we was the mule. You know they did that. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have no assurance of thy life. We didn't know if they was gonna kill us, rape us, what. They was doing it. You know they was doing it, throwing us overboard. It says, in the morning thou would say, I wish the Yah it was evening, and in the evening thou shalt say, would God it was morning, for the fear of thy heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thy eyes which thou shalt seest. The things we were saying, we was wishing that the day would hurry up and pass by and the new day would dawn, but it didn't matter because we was stuck like Chuck in a broke down pickup truck. And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake of thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. They took us right out of that land, and they sold us. Some of us got sold. I told you they sold us. It was the Muslims who sold us right there off the land. They sold us. They sold us. Yes, they did. They had captured a lot of us. They helped them capture us, and they sold us. And that's how we ended up over here. The Romans bought us from the Muslims. That's why they got such an alliance. But y'all, that's the end of the lesson. Blessing, a message. I pray that the Most High forever shine His light on you. Kiss you smack dead in your forehead, open up your crown chakra, your third eye chakra, that you may see the errors of your ways, your forefathers' ways, and begin to walk upright. Let's do it different, y'all. Let's show them what we really like. Let's change the way we are. Let's not follow the ways of this nation, but follow the ways of the Most High Yah, who gave us our rules, regulations, directions. He told us and showed us what to do. Now let's do it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Until tomorrow, y'all. Deuces.